This is DJ New, the most interesting DJ in the world. This is DJ New, most interesting DJ in the country.
Weddings.
For life. I also vow that you will never feel like you're second best, that you're not wanted or even an afterthought. I vow to encourage you to continue to be the very best that you can be.
I will never fumble your heart. I will always put our marriage first, and I will always try to be the best husband possible for you. It's safe with me. It's
Music. And wine. With New.
This is DJ New, the most interesting DJ in the world.
Hello, it's your head of the table and head of this podcast. Welcome to Weddings, Music, and Wine with New. Live streaming right now to you from Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, SPREAKER.com. Available later on all major streaming services, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and JO7, the largest Indian streaming service in the world. I'm hella excited to be back for episode 2 with New. My last show was a fun one, and glad I was able to reintroduce myself to all the fans and audiences. Y'all know how we do.
This is DJ New, the most interesting DJ in the world.
Yes, I am the most interesting DJ in the world. And I already have the show playing overseas in the UK. So thank you all who tuned in and downloaded episode 1. You are the real MVPs. Looking forward to expanding to a lot more states here in the US and also more countries across the world. In my previous episode on the wedding segment, I gave out my 10 steps to wedding planning. On this episode, I will go over the first 2 with a precise breakdown, and next episode I will do the next 2, and so on and so forth. I also have new original music for your wedding cocktail hour and maybe the ceremony as well, while guests are still filtering in the beginning of the ceremony, and of course the wine of the day with the synopsis and the origin of the wine itself. Now, if you didn't tune in for the first episode, first off, shame on you. But 2, this show will have tips on do's and don'ts of planning your wedding, along with other tidbits about your special day, and also special guests as well to guide you through your wedding. Like I mentioned earlier, music with original and instrumentals for your listening pleasure with guests from the music world, DJs, singers, more artists coming your way. And at last but definitely not least, the wine of the day, synopsis of the wine itself. As I said before, while I will be partaking as well, because I am drinking on a little bit of wine right now. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. That means drinking on throughout the show, along with wine enthusiasts I'll be talking with, and also visiting wine vineyards and wineries all over the country starting this weekend, and definitely will be going to some more this summer in Washington, Pennsylvania, Texas, down south, California, interviewing the people in charge of the wonderful wines and establishments. So sit back, grab a glass of wine, maybe some cheese or something else, and just sit back and just enjoy this little episode I got coming up for you, as I give you the business of weddings, music, and wine, with news streaming on Spreaker.com and available on all major streaming services, along with iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and JO7, the largest Indian streaming service in the world. As I mentioned earlier on the last episode, I gave you my 10 steps for planning a wedding, but now I'll be breaking 2 of those steps down, starting with pick your date. Now, I said last time, pick your date, make sure it's tentative or permanent, break it down into 2 dates, but also you got to break it down into so many other things as well, like sentimental value. For instance, options include your grandparents' or parents' wedding date, the date you first met, or when you started going out, or the date of your proposal. I mean, it got to be sentimental as well. Milestone marker, a date that will mark your 5th, 10th, 15th, etc. year together. So you want to make sure you milestone mark your date as well. Forget me not, a number sequence that is easy for you to remember, like 5-5 or 11-12, 12-4, which is my birthday. A number sequence is always good too, so you can easily remember, just in case your husband or wife can't remember. It's like, when is our anniversary, and they can't remember. Just make sure you got an easy number for both of you to at least remember, so one of you don't get in trouble. And bon voyage, the best time of year to travel to your honeymoon destination. So you want to make sure you pick that special and perfect date so you're able to travel. Ideal weather. If you're planning an outdoor wedding, when will it be the most pleasant for a garden ceremony or an open air reception or something that's outside or whatever? So you got to make sure your weather is ideal for you. Family availability, which is one of the most important ones. What timing works best for the people most important to you? Do you have holidays? Is someone pregnant? Or health limitations to consider? So you got to consider your family as well. That's only if you have your family coming. Some people get married in the courthouse and don't have anybody there but just a witness or something. But nah, most people want to have their family there, so you want to make sure you time that as well. Your favorite flower. What is your favorite flower in season? Choosing your wedding date to suit with increase the chances that this beautiful bloom can be included in your arrangements, because if you do it around winter time, there's not going to be a lot of flowers that's out, especially ones that the real pretty ones. I mean, you'll have to go to a florist or something like that. But other than that, you can actually just go out into the forest or out into a field or something and pick your favorite flower. So one, you want to make sure it's in season. Supplier availability. Find a dream venue or vendor. Keep your date flexible to guarantee a booking. You want to make sure the suppliers are available as well. Work commitments. When you have the right amount of time to leave, if you got a PTO or something like that, or you're able to take time off work. So you got to make sure your work commitments for the both of you is available also. Piggy bank, of course. What will you have enough savings for? What would you like to do? I mean, when will you have enough savings for what you would like to do? So you got to make sure that piggy bank is right. Done deal. You can snap up special rates at certain times of the year. So make sure you get like a really good deal on like a vendor or a venue or the actual honeymoon vacation or whatever. So you got to make sure you can snap up those special rates also. Lucky number. Do either of you have a number of special significance you would like to include? Adding, subtracting, or dividing your lucky numbers to create your wedding date is also a very big option also. Public holiday. Many guests will already have the time off or love the idea of recovery day on a long weekend. So make sure you have like a public holiday too, and consider that also. Breathing room. Do you want to spread out events like birthday, anniversary, and seasonal celebrations? I mean, you want to have a little bit of breathing room too. So don't make sure it's not like right near your birthday or another anniversary or, something like that. Favorite time of the year. Do you love the idea of roaring fires and cozy corners, or is it spring more your style? If you feel a connection to a particular time of year, why not make it extra special with the addition of your wedding? Sometimes practical consideration will win over romantic idea, and that's perfectly okay. The date you choose will become special and significant once you are married. So get your date locked in. It's time to check out your essentials of your wedding. So that's the breakdown of like picking your venue. Picking your date. Number 2 is, like I said, the first 2 of 10 is find a venue. Things to consider before choosing a wedding venue. While each and every wedding related decision plays a part in crafting your big day, there are a few choices that make a bigger impact than others. One of the biggest is your venue. Your party space has the ability to set your wedding's tone, which is why choosing your site wisely is absolutely imperative. No pressure, right? According to several of the wedding industry's most lauded planners, there doesn't have to be, especially with their tips at your disposal. To help you navigate this integral wedding planning decision, we teamed up with some of the top planners in the country and put together a list of essential factors to consider when selecting a wedding venue. From starting early, aim to begin your search at least a year out, to selecting a location that suits your wedding style. Are you planning a classic, bohemian, rustic event? These criteria will ultimately make or break any prospective venues. They'll help you formulate questions ahead of any tours and should also serve as a final checklist before you sign any contracts. In the end, it's all about making sure that the venue you choose ticks all of the boxes or checks all of the boxes. It should also fit into your budget as well. While not all of these elements revolve around money management, you'll notice that many are designing to help you get the most bang for your buck. That means paying attention to venue package types. Will this vendor provide space, food, drink, and its overall capacity? Are you wasting money on space you don't need? Ahead of the rest of the wedding venue questions answered. Your ultimate wedding planning timeline. Choosing a venue will be one of the first planning moves you make, so you'll likely want to kick off your search on the earlier